Welcome to Dragon Sanctuary, a podcast dedicated to helping you expand your light for ascension. Let's stay curious and build community. And now, here's your host, Vick.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode on Dragon Sanctuary. I so appreciate you all tuning in for another episode today. We are in for a fun one today. Today's episode is called Triggers. So I'll pause there and I'll say that it's going to be exactly that. It's going to be talking about triggers. So if you're not in a place right now to listen to this episode, I want you to honor that. I want you to turn it off. Turn off the episode. And I genuinely mean that. Listen to this when you're ready, if you're ready. And I appreciate if you take that moment to step away or don't. And I genuinely mean that. So thank you. And thank you for honoring yourself. So triggers. Now, when we talk about triggers, I have to talk about mirrors. Why do mirrors exist? Or more importantly, where do mirrors exist? Seriously, have you ever asked yourself this question? I know my sister has, and that's a joke. Only some will understand, but don't worry, I'll eventually explain that one. But I don't think our ancestors had mirrors. Mirrors can be scary. Literally and figuratively. I'm sure you've all heard the old wives' tale. Break a mirror and you have 7 years of bad luck. I was doing some research and I learned that between 2,000 and 3,000 years ago, Greece and the Roman Empire believed that reflected images were thought to have mysterious powers. So, let me ask you this question. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Of course, I know that you can see yourself, but you can also see someone that you don't even recognize at times. And the way we perceive ourselves matters. It matters the most, in fact. And mirrors are so telling. So for me, I decided, let me tackle this one face on, this fear of mirrors. So I have a morning routine, or sometimes it ends up being an evening routine. It usually depends on when I shower, to be honest. But I stare at myself in the mirror and in the reflection and I say, oh wow, there's this part of me, there's that part of me. Okay, what else can I see when I look at myself today? What parts of me do I love? And what parts do I see within me? Can I go deeper to what I see on the surface? What parts do I better want to understand? What parts do I want to be more proud of or heal? And I do this for about 5 to 7 minutes or until I look in the mirror and I finally say, I see beauty. I see someone who is trying every single day. Now, brace yourself for another one of my little rants, but I feel like mirrors are not animalistic. They're not primal. If you've had a pet, a dog, you may remember the first time you saw them see themselves in the mirror. I know my dog barked, like, who the hell is this guy? And I believe that mirrors are institutional. And what that means to me is that they are a learned behavior of misperceptions, and they don't always serve the most productive purpose. So let me ask another question. Would Congo, and for those of you who don't know who Congo is my stuffed Beanie Baby monkey that I've had since I was about 3 years old. And I remember picking him. I remember the whole day. I was with my mom, my dad, my sister, and we went to the store and we got to pick a stuffed animal and I picked Congo. Anyways, now that you know who Congo is, would Congo want their phone charging beside their pillow at night? If Congo were still in the Amazon, of course. And I'm not an anthropologist, but I'm going to go with a no on that one. So that ties me back here. If I don't cater to my primal needs as someone who has experienced life and is still experiencing life, my circadian rhythm is done. it's toast. So I'm going to ask another question, and I apologize. There is going to be a lot of questions that I'm going to ask you as you listen throughout this episode. Where do you plop yourself to consume your devices? Do you do it in bed, at a desk, in the kitchen, on the couch, or do you have a designated area in your home? What do your primal instincts tell you when I ask this question and you take a moment to reflect on it? Am I triggering you yet? But no, seriously, what do your instincts tell you about this? And do you listen to them and do you honor them? There comes a time where you think about what your parents said to you and you're just like, ugh, you were right, Mom. I really didn't need to get a cell phone. Everyone is so connected to me now. But I want to save this particular rant for another episode, so let me get back to filling up your cup. The self-love thing is so important. So please, if you wish, repeat after me. I want to feel free today. I don't want to feel tied down, to feel triggered by myself, by something, or by someone else. I am whole. I feel that triggers equal confidence. A way to help mitigate triggers is by surrounding yourself with cheerleaders. And I've learned this in my life. And so I want to ask, do you have cheerleaders? Because I know I sure do. And I thank God every day that I do. I will never forget one of the moments where I realized that I actually had like a real life movie cheerleader was when I was playing hockey in university. And my roommate, who so happens to be my best friend, would come out to the games. My grandma made us these like blue scarves. She hand knit them. She was a seamstress. She is a seamstress. And she hand knit these blue scarves, which were the team colors for me and my best friend. And she would come out to every game with a sign like, "Go Vicky, go." And she would just cheer me on so hard. So I'll ask again, do you have cheerleaders in your life? Because if you can't have a cheerleader or you can't be a cheerleader for yourself, you will honestly wither away. You will die. Like your soul will leave your body. You'll lose yourself in the illusions, in the triggers, and in the mirrors. And don't forget that we are allowed to process as living beings. Now let me ask the burning question. Why do so many triggers exist? Why do they exist for me, for us? And I've concluded this after lots of thinking and reflection. I am my only trigger. Let me repeat. I am my only trigger. And I blame the mirrors, but I'm not here to blame. I can't do that anymore. So I'll repeat again. You are your only triggers. So I invite you to go deep on this one, to pause, maybe to pause the episode and to actually take a moment of deep reflection. Maybe you need to even take that one away, talk to someone you trust, someone you love, and ask them, why do you think I am triggered right now? Can you help me work through it? I don't want to be triggered. I want to be curious, compassionate, and honest. I'm so curious and captivated by humans and why we are the way we are. I really should have studied psychology, and maybe I will someday. Anyways, I'm not sure if anyone listening believes in past lives, but I certainly do. And when I touched down to earth, I was born with a clubfoot. Now, if you don't know what a clubfoot is, I'll tell you. Clubfoot is, it looks differently actually for each person, but when I was born with my right foot, my right ankle, my right foot kind of bent to the right on I don't know how many degrees exactly, but it was essentially crooked. So I had to wear a cast for the first 2 years of my life. My parents would take me to Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, and I would get my cast changed. And eventually my clubfoot corrected itself without surgery, thank God. I know a lot of people have to get surgery with clubfoots, but I didn't, thankfully. And yeah, I was able to heal because as a baby, of course, you're malleable. You can adapt, right? So I feel that triggers and mirrors are the same thing. So follow me here. They are lessons that we have to learn and sometimes learn again and again and again and maybe again. For example, have you ever heard the saying, when you point your finger at someone, 4 are pointing back at you? Maybe it's even 6, but who cares? I think you guys get the point. The reality is we all have them. We all have triggers. We all have problems. We all have mirrors. And the vocabulary we use is so fascinating. We, as humans, are fascinating. We are literally a miracle. Life is an actual miracle. And I know that anyone listening must believe that. And as far as I can remember, I like to conversate this way because when we pause and I am able to finish my train of thought, even if it gets broken up, it reminds me that that's something I could never do as a child. I couldn't talk or be heard. And we can't always do something, but we can certainly try to do something for ourselves. So I'll use this analogy, and you all must know by now that I love these. But in sports, your coach could tell you, or has told you, or may tell you, that your best isn't always good enough. Straight up, if you've played sports at any level of competition, you know that the best team doesn't always win, but your best effort never goes unnoticed. So I'll be honest, today I haven't stopped asking myself this question. Why do I get so triggered? Is it because of love? Is it because of injury? Is it because of wounds, scars, thoughts that I thought I healed but didn't? Or is it just because? And I think that's it. I feel that's why I get triggered, because I'm perfectly imperfect. So I wanted to ask the group or team, I like to say team because I'm an athlete, but what do you all feel is the root of your triggers? Is it more specific than what I've already said? Is it relationships, emotions, wounds, acts of service, lack of acknowledgement or understanding? I don't know. So what do you all think? Take some time to reflect, and if you feel comfortable, I invite you to share your thoughts with me. Reach out. I want to create a platform for voice through experience, because I really like that phrase. I find when you present yourself to someone with that phrase, this is my voice, through or because of my experience, they look at you differently. And I truly do try to live my life that way, putting myself in everyone else's shoes, being vulnerable, honorable, wearing armor or a cape. And by doing this, I'm also setting a boundary. It allows me to be me and to accept myself. My therapist has told me, be you. Be authentic, be unapologetic, and try. Keep trying. Even if that means I need to take a hot second to process this emotion right now, you're human and that's normal. So I wanted to ask, are there any other empaths out there? Because I know if you're still listening, you probably are one. Who has had experiences that have shaped you? I think all of us. And oftentimes these experiences hurt you so deeply that you don't know how to stand some days. Or sometimes these experiences have shown you so much beauty that it makes your heart skip a beat. A gust of wind that passes through your soul and all you could do is cry or smile. Happy or sad, regardless, we all feel things, even triggers. And I know this isn't my saying or my friend's saying, but my boyfriend's brother shared something from Ram Dass with me once before. And I find him so captivating, my boyfriend's brother, that is. And Ram Dass too. But when he talks, I'm so engaged, I'm captivated, and I feel that he sees the world with a very similar lens and wants a lot of the same things that I do. So I feel very grateful for that, to have people in my life that align with me. But triggers, oh man. They're so good, and thank God for siblings. On that note, I want to say I love my sister. I won't name her, but I have to talk about her for a moment. I have a million sisters, as my mother calls hers, the sisterhood, and it's a remarkable colony, really. Anyways, my sister is 4 years older than me, and she is the trailblazer of my life. It's true. Even talking about her makes me emotional. And she does everything first with such grace, such ease. Sometimes, of course, she annoys me, but also not at all, if that makes sense. But I think if you have an older sister or an older sibling and you're the youngest sibling, you might have said that before. But I really do feel so lucky for my sister. And I do want to say that she is one of the strongest people I know. And watching her over these last few days has really brought me to my knees. And I know she's going to be listening at some point. So I do want to say that I love you very much. I apologize. That was something that I clearly wanted to get off my chest, but something that I definitely wanted to express. And it feels nice to express myself from the heart, as my mom would be proud to hear me say too. Another thing I wanted to mention is that I wear sunglasses, as you obviously can see, and I wear them during the day, never mind even at night. But I'm always wearing some sort of frame. And I'm not sure if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or on a clip or a reel or whatever platform. And I'm not even sure if you can see me at this moment, but that's not important. What I want to say is if you're still listening, I'm grateful, truly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I must admit to you that I can't see very well these days. Literally, I can't. My eyes hurt and my brain hurts. And if you suffer from TBI or post-concussion syndrome like I do, then you'll understand when I say that my eyes are a bit broken right now. And I can't put a cast or a sling on my eyes, but I am doing all that I can to help them work better to be pain-free. So I'm sure some of you have wondered what's up with the glasses, and if not, great. If so, I just wanted to give you that bit of information. So, have you guys ever listened to Stevie? I know there's a few Stevies in this case, but I mean Stevie Wonder. And by the way, for any Stevie fans out there, I recently learned that his birth name is Steveland Hardaway Morris. But damn, he is so good. Anyway, Stevie is blind as a bat. And I think that's appropriate to say, but more than his disability, he is a person who is so freaking talented. And I will never forget as a kid blasting Stevie Wonder. I still remember, and I still do this. But I'll bring you guys back to Superstition 1974. If you've ever watched that performance, or if you haven't, go on YouTube and watch this man in his God-given element. I remember even in my kid years, I was thinking, do you believe in things you don't understand? As a kid, I decided, okay, perfect. I'm going to sleep with my newly taped hockey stick and I'm going to score a hat trick tomorrow morning. And if I still played hockey, I would still do this. I would still do that to this day, and I'll be sure to tell my kids or any kids to do it. Because if you feel it brings you good luck, the end. So to wrap up, I want to remind everyone who is still listening to me ramble and converse or repartee, and I encourage you to look up that word because I love that word, repartee. I love it. I love that word so much. Anyway, seriously, my message and my mantra for the episode today is, drum roll please, when something is happening or happens to you, I want you to pick it up, to literally stand up, look in the mirror and swoosh your arms over your head, like you're doing the biggest shoulder press of your life and trying to get your 1 rep max. Take that and then just gently set them down. And I mean those 65-pound dumbbells. Like seriously, don't just drop them on the floor so the whole gym's going to look at you and shake. Instead of having those eyes on you all the time and letting the ground beneath you shake, take the thing and set it down gently. And I know, trust me, I know that this is hard to do and that emotions are to be felt. So I encourage you, feel them. But Ram Dass says this, and I encourage you to try it. To ride the wave of life and don't let eyes get you down. So on that note, I have some exciting news as we near the end of the episode. I actually pulled 3 cards today, and I'm really excited about that because this hasn't happened yet before. And when this happens with this particular deck, I'm using the Enchanted Map Oracle card deck from Colette Baron-Reid, which is, as you may know, one of my favorite decks that I own. So I had these 3 cards fall out of the deck, and that means that there's 1 card for the past, there's 1 card for the present, and there's 1 card for the future. So this reading might be a little bit long, but I encourage you to stay with me and to hear it out because it seems, I haven't read them, I've looked at the cards of course, but it does seem that these cards are going to have some pretty powerful messages. And there's actually 1 card that I haven't pulled before, so that's even more exciting to know, for me anyways. So the first card that I've pulled is called Magic Stream, and it's card number 18. And this card here is quite stunning. It's probably how you may envision it, a magical stream. It's a waterfall, and there's a heron and a tree, and there's lots of natural landscape, and you can see the moon and the birds, and quite a stunning card. Again, Magic Stream, card number 18 in the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. So I pulled this card, or this card fell out of the deck, I should say, in the upright position. So the message is here. Everything is connected through the universal flow of consciousness. Every experience you have seems to have its own life story. Phew, talk about a past card. Like, can you even? Oh my goodness. Every experience you have seems to have its own life story, with a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end. However, there is danger in seeing events as separate from one another, since in fact they are all part of a continuity and a greater evolution. Like an ever-flowing magic stream, your experiences filter through the whole world, one leading into another, informing and influencing still more. Inspiration, invention, and revelations rarely come to just one person. The collective awareness is a shared storehouse of potential. When you remember you're part of a fluid continuity of life, you become a channel for a great inspiration. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. Your success will benefit many. I don't think I need to say this anymore. It's so crazy how connected I am with this deck and how hard it resonates with what I say. And again, I will repeat for anyone listening, I write these episodes and then I pull the card and I don't read the message. So it's very organic. And I just finished talking about, like, I literally ended my episode, or the section of the episode, with Ride the Wave of Life. And we're here talking about the flow. So that's a great card. Again, 18 Magic Stream. So that's for the past. Now, for the present, we have a very interesting card. One of my favorite ones in the deck. It's card number 19. So we pulled 18, now we pulled 19 for the present, and it's called Dragon's Lair. This is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck for obvious reasons. And it's a creepy card. I pulled it in the reversed, so it's definitely got a pretty intense message here for us and for me, but it's exactly how you may picture it, a dragon's lair, surrounded by little dragons and red eyes and, you know, the mama dragon kind of protecting the lair. And I pulled this in reverse, so this is for the present reading. Dragon's Lair, you are always protected and divinely directed. Red flags shouldn't be ignored. Don't be seduced into learning a lesson that will hurt your heart. Temptation and intrigue abound, but be careful because you can't win this particular challenge. Heed this gentle warning about wanting and longing, and the fantasy of belonging to someone, something, or an identity that has no true substance or longevity. Ignore this alarm and you'll wander in circles near the edge of a dragon's lair. Choose another path, for your treasures lie elsewhere. Oh, that one's brought me to my knees. 100% thank you, universe, for that one. I will not say anything else about that. Okay, and I would say for me, the present card is the one that reigns the most true because I can't control my past and I can't dictate my future necessarily. I can only control the present moment. So for me, when I pull 3 cards, or I'm doing a reading and I pull 3 cards, the present is the most important card to me personally. So I'll just leave that with you. The future. So we have card number 31 and it's called the Dry Desert, and it's a beautiful image here of a woman just standing in the wind of the desert. There's a bird in the sky, there's some cacti, there's beautiful imagery on this card here as well. Again, it's card number 31 and it's called Dry Desert. So let's see what this card has to say for our future. And again, I apologize. I meant to say I pulled this in the upright. So Dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. Is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort you reach the oasis you're searching for. Beautiful. Consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water essential for life can be found deep underground. So go deep within yourself now. Find your truth here. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is a most important place to find what's truly right for you. Wow. That is, again, wow. It's perfect. It really does resonate with me. So I will just say that. And I hope that the same goes for anyone who's still listening. If there's little pockets or tidbits of information that resonate with you in that reading, I'm so glad. For me, I'm going to be journaling. That's for sure. I'll be journaling again tonight. But anyways, once again, I wanted to thank everyone for listening. It means the world to me, and I hope to see you again for another episode.